Greetings from the Institute of Global Professional IGP. Greetings from the Institute of Global Professional IGP. Thank you all for joining us and staying with us till the end. Honorable Knowledge Seeker, today I am your host for the afternoon. My name is Badhundar. I am from Bangladesh. Dear Knowledge Seeker, I am proud to be associated with IGP. IGP is a social and ISO certified international educational and training institute. In last 3 years, we already served 35 million plus knowledge seekers from 100 plus countries. IGP is internationally recognized and globally accredited. We are connected to more than 450 plus profession and 4,500 plus organization. Institute of Global Professional IGP is a training faculty for skill development which was founded in 2020 and is generating competent candidates to meet demand in the global labor market by providing professional qualification. The Institute of Global Professional is an education institute that provides social work globally recognized and reportable. We serve student and community research providing holistic social work and education. We believe that knowledge is love and light and vision. So we try to understand the needs of today's generation and we serve them with good research and practice method. We must have a genuine concern for the learner we represent. More diversity, growth, and innovation are required to lead a session with professionalism, passion, and integrity. IGP members are committed to offering effective base quality service and continual improvement so that individuals who seek information can improve their skill level and value. Before we move to the next, let me remind don't forget to share, tag, and mention your friend in the comment box. Your support is very valuable for us. Thank you. Before we move to the next, let me remind don't forget to share, tag, and mention your friend in the comment box. Your support is very valuable for us. Thank you. Moving to the next with your continuous support. We already completed 1636 webinars successfully. Wow. Moving to the next with your continuous support. We already completed 1636 webinars successfully. Dear IGP speaker, well-wisher, and participant, at this moment, this is a very important message for you all. We change and design our website www.eduigp.com. On this website, we have surprise for everyone. Hope you will be benefited. We already launched our new website where you can find all our previous activities together with lots of new features. But one strong point is that without an account or login, you cannot enjoy our services. So create your account for once with proper information. Note that with profile information, you will enjoy our feature. With mismatched data, you cannot do anything here. From now on, you have to participate in live quiz competition on our website. We replace Slido. You have to join directly on our website. Now you can check all of our previous webinars with verified e-certificate. Now it's easier and time oriented because after the session, we will not provide you any code for certification. You have to take part in one exam. After that, if you pass, you will receive your certificate, otherwise not. But you can take part in an exam unlimited till you pass. If you are an IGP speaker, you can download a certificate, speakership certificate. If you are a host of IGP, then you can download a certificate of gratitude. If you are an online live quiz competition winner, then you can download a certificate of participation. If you are selected for a lifetime membership, then you can download a certificate of lifetime membership easily. Besides this, if you participate in a new award function which organizes coupon support with IGP, you can download that also. You can instantly prepare and download 18 types of instant certificate from our website within a minute. Certificate of Global Professional Membership, Certificate of Global Influence in the Pandemic, Certificate of Active Knowledge Seeker, Certificate of Social Activities in the Pandemic, Certificate of IGP Knowledge Seeking Campaign 2020, 2021, 2022. Certificate of Participation Webinar Series 1, Authentic Assessment in Teaching Learning. Certificate of Participation Webinar Series 2, Teaching English as a Foreign Language and Assessment. Certificate of Participation Webinar Series 3, Digital Classroom Engagement Tools. Certificate of Participation Webinar Series 4, The New Trend in Education. Certificate of Participation Webinar Series 5, Upskilling Organizational Leadership and Managerial Skills. Certificate of Participation Webinar Series 6, Trend and Innovation in Mathematics Education. Certificate of Participation Webinar Series 7, Research and Comprehension Approach. Certificate of Participation Webinar Series 8, Art in Teaching a Special Program in the Art. Certificate of Participation Webinar Series 9, 21st Century Tools in Teaching Mathematics. Certificate of IGP Corporate Ambassador, Certificate of IGP Campus Ambassador, which you can prepare and download within a minute. From now on, you can participate in 1,000 plus international level quiz with verified e-certificate. Teaching tips for teachers, health tips for parents, health tips for teens, gamification tools for teacher. You can join IGP alumni. You can check out our 50 plus premium services website for free and many more. Dear IGP well-wisher, we promised previously, but lack of technical issue, we are late sending you on time. This is a great opportunity to collect your previous credentials. We solve all issues from our website. Now you can enroll, reset password, everything. You can check your dashboard for all webinar details. It's a tutorial request to check all button and pages on our website. Surely I can say you will be benefited. Thank you, but note that without an account or logged in, you cannot enjoy our services. At present, we are going to start our 1637 webinar, which name is Basic Statistical Tools, and today our speaker ma'am name is Mercedes S.J. Pillar. She is from Philippines. Before I hand over the stage to our speaker ma'am, also share a very little bit about her. SHS in Progressive Principal to School Head. Now, very important moment for me to invite our speaker to IGP with her presentation. Now, very important moment for me to invite our speaker to IGP with her presentation. Hello, ma'am. Good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon. Hello, good
Ma'am,
afternoon to everyone.
yes,
It's
ma'am. Ma'am, the stage is yours. You can start your presentation now.
Good afternoon to everyone. I am Dr. Mercedes Juan from the Philippines, school principal, school head of the senior high school in Progressive here in Bacoor City, Molino, in Cavite, Philippines. Good afternoon to everyone. May I start now for the first slide? Hello, ma'am. Kindly, hello, ma'am. I thought you will be presenting my slides. Hello, ma'am.
Ma'am, is there any video in your slides?
No, none. It's
Okay,
slides
ma'am.
only. I thought
Okay, ma'am. We share your slides. Can you see the slides?
yes, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, so I can start. So once again, this is Dr. Mercedes S.J. Pilar from the Senior High School in Progressive here in Bacoor City, Philippines. My topic for today is about basic statistical tools. Next. Statistic is a branch of science that deals with the collection, organization, analysis of data, and drawing of inferences from the samples to the whole population. This requires a proper design of the study, an appropriate selection of the study sample, and choice of a suitable statistical test. An adequate knowledge of statistics is necessary for proper designing of an epidemiological study of, or a clinical trial. Improper statistical methods may result in erroneous conclusions, which may lead to unethical practice. The statistical analysis gives a meaning to the meaningless numbers, thereby breathing life into lifeless data. The result and inferences are precise only if possible statistical tests are used. Next slides, please. Next slide. The lecture covers a brief outline of the variable, an understanding of qualitative and quantitative variables, and a measure of central tendency, an idea of the sample size estimation, power analysis, and the statistical errors is given. Finally, there is a summary of parametric and non-parametric tests used for the data analysis. Next slide, please. Next slide. First, we have the variable. Variable is a characteristic that varies from one individual member of population to another individual. Variables such as height and weight are measured by some type of scale, convey quantitative information, and are called as quantitative variables. Sex and eye color give qualitative information, are called as qualitative variables. Next slide, please. Next. So here is the analysis of what variable is. So we have variable, we have the qualitative and then the quantitative. Under qualitative, we have the ordinal, while in quantitative, we have the discrete and continuous. And under continuous, we have interval and ratio. Next slide, please. So let's have first the quantitative variables. Quantitative or numerical data are subdivided into discrete and continuous measurements. Discrete numerical data are recorded as a whole number such as 0, 1, 2, 3, or in the integers, whereas continuous data can assume any value. Observations that can be counted constitute the discrete data, and observations that can be measured constitute the continuous data. Examples of discrete data are number of episodes of respiratory areas or the number of reintubations in an intensive care unit. Similarly, examples of continuous data are the serial serum glucose levels, partial pressure of oxygen in arterial blood, and the esophageal temperature. A hierarchical scale of increasing precision can be used for observing and recording the data, which is based on categorical, ordinal, interval, ratio scales. Next slide, please. So we have the categorical or nominal variables are unordered. The data are merely classified into categories and cannot be arranged in any particular order. If only two categories exist, as in gender, male and female, it is called as a dichotomous or binary data. The various cause of reintubation in an intensive care unit due to upper airway obstruction, impaired clearance of secretion, hypoxemia, hypercapnia, pulmonary edema, and neurological impairment are examples of categorical variable. Another one, we have the ordinal variables, have a clear ordering between the variables. However, the ordered data may have equal intervals. Examples are the American Society of Anesthesiologists status or Richmond agitation sedation scale. Next slide, please. Interval variables are similar to an ordinal variable except that intervals between the values of the interval variables are equally spaced. A good example of an interval scale is the Fahrenheit degree scale used to measure temperature. With the Fahrenheit scale, the difference between 70 and 75 is equal to the difference between 80 and 85. The units of measurements are equal throughout the full range of the scale. Another one, we have the ratio scales are similar to interval scales in that equal differences between scale values have equal quantitative meaning. However, ratio scale also have the true 0 point, which gives them an additional property. For example, the system of centimeters is an example of a ratio scale. There is a true 0 point, and the value of 0 centimeter means a complete absence of length. The thyromental distance of a 6 meter inch in an adult may be twice that of a child in whom it may be 3 centimeters. Next slide, please. Now let's see the difference between statistics, descriptive and inferential statistics. So descriptive statistics try to describe the relationship between variables in a sample of population. Descriptive statistics provide a summary of data in the form of mean, median, and mode, while inferential statistics use a random sample of data taken from a population to describe and make inferences about the whole population. It is valuable when it is not possible to examine each member of an entire population. The examples if descriptive and inferential statistics are illustrated. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. So we have the descriptive statistics. Example, the intracranial pressure in millimeter Hg of mercury of 10 patients admitted with severe head injury in intensive care unit are 13, 32, 35, 42, and 30, 19, 32, 27, 36, and 31. This data can be summarized to best represent the observations. We can rank the observation from the lowest to the highest: 30, 19, 27, 30, 31, 32, 32, 35, 36, and 42. We get now a clearer idea of the intracranial pressures in severe head injury. The idea about the commonly observed values. 9. The smaller and larger values less represent our samples. The sample mode most commonly observed value is 32. Mean value is 29.77 millimeter Hg of mercury. The median is the middle value. If there is an even number of observation, then the median is calculated as the average of the two middle values. The median is 31 plus 32 divided by 2 is equal to 31.5 millimeter Hg. Inferential statistics. If one plans to study the association of learning disabilities after exposure to anesthesia before the age of 4 years, it will be feasible to compare the learning disabilities between children who have received anesthesia and those who have not received anesthesia. It is impossible to measure the learning disability in children of an entire population. However, it is possible to measure the learning disability in representative random sample in different school and draw inferences that could be applicable. Next slide, please. more of this descriptive statistic. The extent to which the observation cluster around a central location is described with a central tendency, and the spread toward extreme is described by the degree of dispersion. So let's have the measure of central tendency first. The measure of central tendency are mean, median, and mode. Mean, or the arithmetic average, is the sum of all the scores divided by the number of scores. Mean may be influenced profoundly by the extreme variables. For example, the average stay of organophorus poisoning patients in ICU may be influenced by single patient who stays in ICU for around 5 months because of septicemia. The extreme costs are called outliers. The formula for the mean is, next slide please. Next slide. Mean is equivalent to x is equals to summation of x over n, or the number, where x is equivalent to each observation, n is equivalent to the number of observation. Median is defined as the middle of the distribution in rank data, with half of the variables in the sample above and half below the median value, while mode is the most frequently occurring variable in a distribution. Range defines the spread or of variability. Of example, it is described by the minimum and maximum values of the variables. If we rank the data and after ranking, group the observations into percentiles, we can get better information of the pattern of spread of the variables. In percentiles, we rank the observation into 100 equal parts. We can then describe 25%, 50%, 75%, or any other percentile amount. The median is the 50th percentile. The interquartile range will be the observation in the middle 50% of the observations about the median. 25th to 75th percentile. Variance is a measure of how spread out is the distribution. It gives an indication of how close an individual observation cluster about the mean value. The variance of the population is defined by the following formula. Next slide, please. Ella, Ella. Where Q sub O is the population variance, X is the population mean, X sub I is the eighth element from the population, and N is the number of elements in the population. The variance of the sample is defined by slightly different formula. We have S2 is equal to the summation of X sub 1 minus the quantity X squared over n minus 1, where x2 is the sample variance, x is the sample mean, xi is the eighth element from the sample, and n is the number of element in the sample. The formula for the variance of the population has the value n as the denominator. The expression n minus 1 is known as the degrees of freedom and is 1 less than the number of parameters. Each observation is free to vary except the last one, which must be a defined value. The variance is measured in squared units. To make the interpretations of the data simple and to retain the basic unit of observation, the square root of variance is used. The square root of variance is the standard deviation, or SD. The SD of the population is defined by the following formula. Next slide, please. Next, we have Q is equal to the square root of the summation all over x sub 1 minus x the squared over n, where q is the population SD and x the population mean, x sub I is the eighth element from the population, and n is the number of elements in the population. The SD of a sample is defined by slightly different formula. We have S equals to the square root of summation all over x sub 1 minus the square minus x all over square root over n minus 1. Where S is the sample SD, X is the sample of mean, Xi is the ith element from the sample, and N is the number of elements in the sample. An example for calculation of variation in SD is illustrated in next slide, please. Example of mean variance standard deviation. The weight of the 5 patients undergoing laparoscopic cholecystectomy was 90, 90, 70, 70, 80. So to get the mean weight, so we get the sum of those value divided by 4 as n is equals to 80. For the variance, we have the 90 minus air squared plus 90 minus 80 squared plus 70 minus 80 squared plus 80 minus 80 squared all over 5 minus 1. So we have 1 for 100 plus 0 over 5 minus 1. So we have 400. Normal distribution and Gaussian distribution. Most of the biological variables usually cluster around a central value with symmetrical positive and negative deviation about this point. The standard normal distribution curve is a symmetrical bell shape. In a normal distribution curve, about 68% of the scores are within 1 SD of the mean. Around 95% of the scores are within 2 SDs of the mean, and 99% within 3 SDs of the mean. So, the illustration below show the normal distribution, showing the standard deviation, mean, and the percentile. So we call this as the normal distribution curve. Next slide, please. Next slide. We have the skewed distribution. In a negatively skewed distribution, the mass of the distribution is it is a distribution with asymmetrical of the variable about its mean concentrated on the right of the figure. In a positive skewed distribution, figure 3, the mass of the distribution is concentrated on the left of the figure, leading to a longer right tail. So the illustration below show the frequency, the mode, the median, and the mean of the skewed to the right and skewed to the left. So curve showing the negatively skewed and the positively skewed distribution. Next slide, please. Next slide. So we have the inferential statistics. In inferential statistics, data are analyzed from a sample to make inferences in the larger collection of the population. The purpose is to answer or test the hypothesis. A hypothesis, plural is hypothesis, is a proposed explanation for a phenomenon. Hypothesis tests are thus procedures for making rational decisions about the reality of observed effects. Probability is the measure of the likelihood that an event will occur. Probability is the quantified as a number between 0 and 1, where 0 indicates impossibility and 1 indicates certainty. Next slide, please. Next slide. Next slide. So we have we have the p value. So p value is less than the arbitrary chosen value known as alpha or the significance level. The null hypothesis HO is rejected. However, if the null hypothesis HO is reject incorrectly rejected. This is known as a type 1 error. Further details regarding alpha error, beta error, and sample size calculation and factors influencing them are dealt with another section of this issue by Das et al. Next slide, please. Okay, here's the illustration of a null hypothesis. The study was planned to evaluate if the use of intravenous dexmedetomidine attenuated the hemodynamic and neuroendocrine responses to fixation of scalp pin head holder in patients undergoing craniotomy, and 60 patients were randomly assigned, half in each group, to receive a single bolus dose of dexmedetomidine, 1 μg per kilogram, intravenously over 10 minutes before induction of anesthesia or normal saline placebo in the control group. It is possible for this study to be framed into a particular way that indicates competing belief about the drug to be studied in the patient population. First, we assume the dexmedetomidine makes no difference, has no effect. This is called the null hypothesis. The no change hypothesis, the symbol uses HO minus H for hypothesis O for zero change. The word null is another way of saying zero. Second, we set up an alternative hypothesis H, which takes the opposite point of view, namely use of dexmedetomidine. Thus, the data are used to produce a test value. A test statistic in this case is measures the heart rate, arterial blood pressure, and serial levels of cortisol, protactin, insulin, blood glucose in each group, dexmedetomidine group, and control group. Then the process evaluates whether the difference in these parameters between the two groups is significantly large. Next slide, please. So we have the parametric and non-parametric test. Numerical data, so this is the quantitative variables that are normally distributed, are analyzed with parametric test. So we have the parametric test. The parametric test assume the data are on quantitative numerical scale with a normal distribution of the underlying population. The samples have the same variance, homogeneity, and variance. The samples are randomly drawn from the population, and the observations within a group are independent of each other. The commonly used parametric tests are the student's t-test, analysis variance, or the ANOVA, and repeated measures ANOVA. Next slide, please. Mhm. Student t-test. Student t-test is used to test the null hypothesis that there is no difference between the mean of the two groups. It is used in three circumstances. First, to test if a sample mean as an estimate of a population mean differs significantly from a given population mean. This is one sample t-test where x is equals to the sample mean, mu is the population mean, and S is the standard error of mean. Next slide, please. Next slide. Second, to test if the population means estimated by two independent samples differ significantly. The unpaired t-test, the formula for the unpaired t-test is t is equals to x sub 1 minus x sub 2 all over SE x sub 2 and x minus x sub 1, where x sub 1 and x sub 2 is the difference between the mean of the two groups and S denotes the standard error of the difference. Next slide, please. Number 3, to test if the population means estimated by two dependent varied samples differ significantly, the paired t-test. A usual setting for paired t-test is when measurements are made on the same subjects before and after a treat, where T is equals to D over SE sub D, where sub D is the mean difference and SE denotes the standard error of this difference. The group variance can be compared using the F-test. The F-test is the ratio of variance. If F differs significantly from 1, then it is concluded that the group variance differs significantly. Next slide, please. Another one, we have the analysis of variance. The student's t-test cannot be used for comparison of three or more groups. So the purpose of ANOVA is to test if there is any significant difference between the means of two or more groups. If ANOVA, in ANOVA, we study two variances. A, between group variability, and B, within group variability. The within group variability error variance is the variation that cannot be accounted for in the study design. It is based on random differences present in our sample. However, the between group or effect variance is the result of our treatment. These two estimates of variance are compared using the F-test. Next slide, please. Simple formula for the F is equals to F is equals to MS sub B all over MS sub W, where MSB is the mean square between the groups and MSW is the mean squares between within groups. Next slide, please. Next slide. So we have the repeated measures analysis of variance. As with ANOVA, repeated measures ANOVA analysis the equality of means of three or more groups. However, a repeated measure ANOVA is used when all variables of sample are measured under different conditions or at different points in time. As the variable are measured when a sample at different points of time, the measurement of the dependent variable is repeated. Using a standard ANOVA in this case is not appropriate because it fails to model the correlation between the repeated measures. The data violate the ANOVA assumption of independence. Hence, in the measurement of the repeated dependent variables, repeated measure ANOVA should be used. Next slide, please. Non-parametric test. When the assumption of the normality are not met and the sample means are not normally distributed, parametric tests are lead to erroneous result. Non-parametric tests of diffusion are used in such situation as they do not require the normality assumption. Non-parametric tests may fail to detect a significant difference when compared with parametric tests. That is, they usually have less power. As a, as is done for the parametric test, the test statistic is compared with known values for the sampling distribution of the statistics, and the null hypothesis is accepted or rejected. The types of non-parametric analysis techniques and the corresponding parametrics analysis techniques are delineated. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. So this is the analog of parametric and non-parametric test. For the parametric test, one sample, one sample t-test. So we have the sign test. In the non-parametric test, using Wilcoxon sign rank test. In parametric test, we have two sample per t-test. So we have the sign test, Wilcoxon sign rank test. The unpaired test, non-parametric is Mann-Whitney U-test, Kolmogorov-Smirnov test. Case sample ANOVA, we have the Kraskay-Walsh test and Jonquier test. Parametric test, we have two-way ANOVA, repeated measure ANOVA. We have the Friedman test and the Pearson correlation coefficient R. We use the non-parametric Spearman rank order P. ANOVA analysis of variance. Next slide, please. Okay, so nowadays we are using softwares, no? Inst Instead of manually computing for this statistical data, we use the softwares available, no? So we have the software available for statistics, sample size population, and the power analysis. Numerous statistical software systems are available currently. The commonly used software system are the Statistical Package for the Social Sciences, or also known as the SPSS, manufactured by IBM Corporation. Statistical Analysis System, or the SAS, developed by SAS Institute, North Carolina, United States of America. Designed by Ross Ihaka and Robert Gentleman from our core team. Power analysis for ANOVA design, an interactive site that calculates power or sample size needed to attain a green power for one effect in a factorial ANOVA design. SPSS makes a program called sample power. It gives an output of a complete report on the computer screen, which can be cut and pasted into another document. Next slide, please. Okay, so that's all the my presentation this afternoon on basic statistical tool. I hope you enjoy the and learn from the things that I presented this afternoon. Thank you for listening. Once again, this is Dr. Mercedes Pilar of the Senior High School in Progressive, Philippines. Thank you, Mom.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for a rich content presentation which can impact our knowledge seeker surely. After your presentation, I hope our knowledge seeker can learn something new, which was our only intention. Learn and grow together, IGP Knowledge Seeker. Once again, thank you so much, ma'am, for your presentation. Now, ma'am, it's time for our question answer session, which one is the one more valuable part of our regular webinar. Honorable ma'am, please stay with us. After a short video, we will be back in our session part 2, which is the question answer part. Dear IGP Knowledge Seeker, please ask your question in the comment box as much as you want to know from our speaker. Thank you. After question answer, we have a webinar certification and online quiz competition. Dear IGP Knowledge Seeker, please ask your question in the comment box as much as you want to know from our speaker. Thank you. After question answer, we have a webinar certification and online quiz competition. as you want to know from our speaker. Thank you. After question answer, we have an webinar certification and online quiz competition. Dear IGP seeker, please ask your question in the comment box as much as you want to know from our speaker. Thank you. After question answer, we have a webinar certification and online quiz competition. Ma'am, our first question is from Ruben. This is before I share post. Thank you, kind ma'am. Team question is how to compute covariance and its use.
Hello, ma'am. As stated, covariance is used to compute for to comparison to compare the data, uh, and it is very important to compare the data in a given study.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your answer. Ma'am, there is no more questions from our participants. So once again, thank you so much, ma'am, for your time in IGP. We have learned a lot from you with new topic. It will add some value to our day-to-day activity along with our academic and professional growth. Honorable ma'am, hope to see you again with a new topic and a new day. Thank you, ma'am. Take care.
Welcome. So I just be waiting for the certification on this program. Thank you, ma'am.
Welcome, ma'am. Honorable ma'am, before we move to the next webinar certification process, if you want to leave this studio, you can.
Okay, thank you so much.
Dear IGP Knowledge Seeker stand for the webinar certification process, the most attractive and powerful part of our regular webinar. After a short video, we will start our webinar certification. After webinar certification, we have an online quiz competition and quiz certification. Dear IGP Knowledge Seeker stand for the webinar certification process, the most attractive and powerful part of our regular webinar. After a short video, we will back with our webinar certification process. After webinar certification, we have an online quiz competition and quiz certification. Visit www.edioigp.com. Please make sure your presence on our website. Find a running session and get enrolled. After watching complete part 1, click mark as complete. Move to the next with the learning test passing mark 80%. If passed, back to the course again to download your certificate if failed to retake the course. Download your certificate in PDF or JPG. For your attention, I am going to share the procedure again. Visit www.edioigp.com. Please make sure your presence on our website. Find a running session and get enrolled. After watching complete part 1, click mark as complete. Move to the next, which is the learning test passing mark 80%. If passed, back to the course again to download your certificate if failed to retake the course. Download your certificate in PDF or JPG. Dear IGP Narasik, it's time for the most engaging part of this webinar, which is an online quiz competition, which is our regular webinar activity. Now, time for the online quiz competition. To join the online quiz competition properly, please follow my instruction carefully. Now, time for the online quiz competition. To join the online quiz competition properly, please follow my instruction carefully. For some technical problem, we cannot continue the quiz session from our website. So, to join the quiz session, you have to go www.slido.com and the quiz code is 4055226. I repeat the code 4055226. After a short video, we will start our quiz session. With 27 people, we are going to start our quiz session right now. Our first question is, how many basic arithmetic tools are there? Option 1, 4, option 2, 5. Option 2 is the right answer. 48% people are right here. In the leaderboard, Alex is holding the first position. Our next question is the basic tools of quality strategical sampling and Six Sigma. Option 1, 4, option 2, 7. Option 2 is the right answer. 52% people are right here. In the leaderboard, Alex is holding the first position. Our third question is basic statistical terms in order. Option 1 is strategic population variable sample parameter. Option 2 population sample parameter strategic variable. Option 2 is the right answer. 63% people are right here. In the leaderboard, Alex is holding the first position. Our fourth question is basic statistical information about a person. Option 1 medical record. Option 2 demographics. Option 2 is the right answer. 82% people are right here. In the leaderboard, Alex is holding the first position. Our fifth question is, there are three basic strategical methods. Option 1, yes. Option 2, not sure. Option 1 is the right answer. 67% people are right here. In the leaderboard, Kaifer is holding the first position. Our sixth question is, what are the three basic statistical measures? Option 1, mean, mood, range. Option 2, mean, median, mood. Option 2 is the right answer. 92% people are right here. In the leaderboard, Kaifer is holding the first position. Our seventh question is, the presentation includes some basic statistical information. Option 1, no. Option 2, not sure. Option 1 is the right answer. 71% people are right here. In the leaderboard, Kaifer is holding the first position. Our eighth question is, are you confident about using the basic statistical tested? Option 1, yes. Option 2, not. All. Option 1 is the right answer. 100% people are right here. In the leaderboard, Kaifer is holding the first position. Our ninth question is, which sampling is the most basic statistical approach? Option 1, sympathetic grid sampling. Option 2, simple random sampling. Option 2 is the right answer. 79% people are right here. In the leaderboard, Kaifer is holding the first position. Our last and final question of the session is, problem identification often includes some basic statistical analysis. Option 1, true. Option 2, false. Option 2 is the right answer and 4% people are right here. So congratulations to our online quiz competition winner top 10. Congratulations again. We will take a few minutes for finalizing the result. After that, we will issue our online quiz competence certificate on our official Facebook page and group Institute of Global Professional. Congratulations to our online quiz competition winner top 10. Congratulations again. We will take a few minutes for finalizing the result. After that, we will issue our online quiz competence certificate on our official Facebook page and group Institute of Global Professional. Congratulations to our online quiz competition winner top 10. Congratulations again. We will take a few minutes for finalizing the result. After that, we will issue our online quiz competence certificate on our official Facebook page and group Institute of Global Professional. At the end of our session, we can say, properly feed your skill. Never stop learning cause life never stop teaching us. Be happy and stay safe. See you again and again. We want your participation in every program. If you want to live a happy life, try to a goal, not a people or thing. Albert Einstein. Before I say or hit the end like button, I want to thank all IGP knowledge seekers for your active participation as always. See you again in the next session. Thank you.